Hey guys, this is going to be a review on the MoreTry Tianma X3 Plus. This is the newest version of the Tianma and it has a couple of changes that make it stronger as well as some performance upgrades. So for the unboxing here, you just get the cube, a stand-in, and accessories box. It's much more simple than the old box design. It would have been nice if they included an extra cap in the box because I can't seem to erase the logo like I normally would. So that is unfortunate if you prefer cubes without logos. So as for the improvements they improved the magnet capsule design on the edges and corners. I'm not sure exactly what they did to improve it, however I haven't had any problems with them breaking like what was a complaint in the past. On the enhanced version they also added an 8 magnet ball core like most cubes do nowadays. The magnets they went for are really strong and you could see because there's very little space in between the corner and core magnets. Normally this would be a problem, however this cube is extremely fast on its own so it kind of cancels out. Just putting strong ball core magnets in a cube makes the cube just feel a little slower and more responsive, so it's a nice touch to have a fast cube that has strong core magnets. As for adjustment systems, the only thing that's adjustable is the spring compression. The system is very similar to Moyu's where it just has 9 settings and you could just manually adjust it with your finger. It's really easy to use and I really like this system because it's useful and also allows for a lot of customization with the screw. I personally use this cube on setting 4, and I found that that was a good balance between making the cube more stable and also not making the cube feel super rigid. My only issue with this cube is that it locks up a bit when trying to do riskier finger tricks. When I focus on my turning and make sure I'm turning accurately and not overshooting, I tend to do well, however when doing complicated finger tricks that aren't just simple algorithms, I find that I lock up a bit more. That being said, I do really enjoy solving on this cube. Although it catches a bit when I'm doing harder finger tricks, when I'm focusing a lot on my turning, I feel like I get some nice times and it's really satisfying to turn. If you're curious as to how this cube compares to the original version with the repelling magnets and the corner to edge beat magnets, I would say that this version feels smoother. The magnets attract from a bit farther away and they're not nearly as strong. With that version, I feel like once you get to around 30 degrees, the magnets get really strong and it really helps complete the turn. However, turning this feels more natural in my opinion, so if you're used to modern ball core cubes, like a lot of the Moyu cubes or something, I think that this will be a lot easier to go to. Also, I like how it has springs because in general I do just prefer springs in my cubes, and this cube is very fast naturally, so I don't think it needs maglev. One thing that really surprised me about this cube is the price. Considering the prices of MoreTry's other similar cubes, I was expecting this to be around like $25. However, this cube is actually $15, making it one of the cheapest options for a cube with a ball core. Now to make some comparisons with other cubes in a similar price range. Some other cubes around this price range but are a bit more that I hear people talk about a lot are the R3V5, the XT3, and the Guhong Pro. So compared to those cubes, I would say that this cube's definitely on the faster end, and it's also one of the lighter ones. If you're somebody who has a heavier turn style and relies a lot on the cube to keep the cube in shape, then I would suggest going for something like the XT3 or the RS3V5 because those cubes are a lot more forgiving and heavier. However, if you're somebody who prefers lighter cubes and you have a light turn style and you really like turning fast and light cubes, I would definitely consider this one. Unfortunately, this cube isn't going to be my main just because I can't actually control fast cubes like this, especially with competition pressure. I just find that I catch way too much. However, I do still enjoy turning this cube, just sitting down and doing some solves or spamming algorithms, and I definitely see a lot of people really enjoying this cube, especially if they like the original version of the Tianma. So if the properties I mentioned in this video sound interesting to you, I definitely suggest checking out this cube. It's only $15 for the ball core version, so I think it's really easy to recommend this to somebody who's just curious. Also, if you're just somebody who feels nostalgia for old cubes and just kind of wants one with modern hardware, I feel like this is actually a really good option, and I really enjoy turning it just because it reminds me of some of my older cubes. Anyway, that's going to be about it for this video. Thank you to MoreTry for sending me this cube to test out and review. If you have any thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to answer. And please subscribe if this video helped. Bye!